my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lily, and my channel is a place where I share all of my healthy, vegan, mostly whole food, plant-based recipes with all of you. Today I'm coming to you with a new and exciting recipe. This one, I was inspired by a dish that my mom actually made as I was growing up. She would make pecan crusted chicken all the time, and we all loved it. So obviously I don't eat chicken anymore, but I still really was looking for something to kind of replace that sentimental memory, I guess. So I've come up with this delicious pecan crusted tofu recipe. It is so yummy, I can't even describe. A really easy and delicious recipe coming your way. Stay tuned and I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious pecan crusted tofu for yourself.
So the first thing I'm gonna do for this tofu is get some super firm tofu cut into some triangles. The easiest way to do this is to cut your tofu cube in half horizontally. And then after you do that, you just cut it diagonally. And then you can cut it about a ½ inch thick, but I just cut it into about 4ths this way. There is our tofu all finished. Next, I'm gonna make the dry ingredients for this pecan crusted tofu. So that's gonna be a mixture of pecans and breadcrumbs and then some seasonings as well. I just like to use my little food processor for this, and you need about a cup of pecans. I'm gonna pulse these until they are nice and small. And this right here is the perfect texture. This is just gonna go in my dry ingredient bowl. And then next I'm gonna do about a cup of panko breadcrumbs as well. And then I'm also gonna do about 2 tablespoons or so of nutritional yeast. This just helps give them a really nice golden color and a little bit of a cheesiness flavor. And then I'm gonna do some dried parsley, about 2 tablespoons of dried parsley as well. And then I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of salt and some freshly cracked black pepper to taste. And I'm just gonna give this a little bit of a mix, get everything nice and incorporated. All right, and I'm just gonna set this aside while we make the wet ingredients. For the wet batter, I'm gonna be using some almond milk yogurt. You can use any kind of unsweetened dairy-free yogurt. And I'm gonna be using about 3/4 of a cup or so. To that, I'm gonna be adding in some garlic powder, quite a bit, about a teaspoon, and some onion powder, about a teaspoon as well. I also like to add in just a little bit of hot sauce. You can use whatever kind of hot sauce you have. I do about a tablespoon or 2. This is really just up to you. All right, and just mix that together. And then you're gonna need some cornstarch, and I'm just gonna lightly cover all of the tofu with the cornstarch. And that's gonna be like our first layer. I just lay all of the tofu flat on my plate, and then I like to just lightly sprinkle all of the surface of the tofu with the cornstarch, which ends up being about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And then I just make sure all sides of the tofu are good and covered with the cornstarch. And now it is ready to start the assembly process. So I just like to lay out all of my different stations. So I have my tofu, the wet or the batter, and then I have the breadcrumbs and the pecans down at the end because that's going to be the last coating. And then I have my baking sheet down there as well. And make sure your oven is preheated at this point. So another tip is to use one hand for the dry ingredients and one hand for the wet ingredients. You don't want to mix those up or else you're going to have a gooey mess when doing this. And just make sure that your tofu gets completely covered in the wet ingredients and just kind of shake off the excess. You don't want to have way too much on here. And then once you shake that off, you can put it into your dry ingredients and make sure it is really well covered with the breadcrumbs and the pecans to ensure that the breadcrumbs and the pecans are really stuck on there. And then shake off the excess of that as well. And this is what it should look like. It already looks really delicious and it's not even cooked yet. So just go ahead and set that on your baking sheet and just repeat this process until all of your tofu is coated. Alright, I've got them all coated and they look amazing. So these are going to go into my preheated oven at 425 degrees. I'm going to bake them for about 20 minutes and then I'll take them out and flip them all over and bake them for another 10 minutes or until they're nice and golden. Okay, while the tofu is baking, I'm gonna make a delicious maple mustard sauce to go with it. So this is like a vegan honey mustard, of course, and my mom used to always make honey mustard to go with our pecan chicken. So this is what I am doing. I just started off with half a block of silken tofu, adding in 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You could also use agave if you don't have maple syrup. And then I'm gonna add in half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, as well as half a teaspoon of salt, and the combination of these flavors are just going to be amazing. So I have a little blender. I just blend it up in this because it's easier, but you could also use a little whisk probably. That would work good. You just want to blend it until it is really smooth, and this is the consistency you are looking for. So I just like to add my maple mustard to my little mason jars, and we'll use one of these for dinner tonight, and then the other one I will throw in the fridge to eat with the leftovers tomorrow. I absolutely love this maple mustard. It is one of my staple sauce recipes, and I know you're gonna like it as well. So the 20 minutes has passed. I'm taking these out of the oven and I'm just gonna flip each one of them over. This way they are all nice and evenly browned. And I'm gonna put these back into the oven for another 10 minutes, and that usually gets them nice and golden brown in my oven, but you may need a little longer depending on your oven. So they've just come out of the oven and they look beautifully golden brown. So I just like to transfer these straight to a wire cooling rack. That way they do not lose their crispiness. So that is a tip of mine, and just give them some room so that they can cool off that way as well. This is a little cat Jake picked up in Japan, and he just really wanted to show you guys. So the cat says hello.
Alright, so I'm just gonna give this delicious pecan crusted tofu a taste. It's so crispy. Oh my gosh. And this honey mustard, I'm telling you, goes perfectly. This is so good. It takes me right back to my childhood. Oh my gosh. So good. Like, that is my favorite way to eat tofu, hands down. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you decide to give it a try, because it's seriously an award-winning recipe in my mind. I don't know if it's the sentimental memories attached to the flavors of the pecans and all that, but let me tell you, it is delicious. So if you decide to give this recipe a try, comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it. I want to know if everyone else likes it just as much as I do. Also, if you're new here, comment down below, introduce yourself, and let us know where you're from. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out so much, and I'm so thankful for all of you guys watching. The past couple videos of mine have really done really well, so I'm so grateful, seriously. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope that you are having a wonderful holiday season, and I can't wait to see you very soon in another video. Bye!